A large asteroid the size of the Eiffel Tower is rapidly heading towards our Earth, at a speed even faster than a bullet fired from a gun. And when it gets close to Earth, it will pass right between our satellites and come extremely close to our planet. We're not talking about a scene from a sci-fi movie here. This is going to be a real event. Not much, just in the next few years, this asteroid has its own name, and maybe you should remember it once again, Apophis. But the danger we face from this asteroid, how real of a danger will it actually be? Is this asteroid really going to collide with our Earth? And if yes, then how much damage is it actually going to cause us? Could this be like that great destruction which wiped out the dinosaurs from the Earth millions of years ago? And the most important question is, if we know so much about it, then what exactly are our scientists doing to save us from this massive disaster? Since the discovery of Apophis in 2004, it has kept astronomers on high alert till today. Where having our children live is considered our good fortune. We are surrounded by dangers that can wipe us out in an instant. But what if the threat of Apophis is also real? Then what? In today's video, we will learn in detail about this disaster coming in 2029. What is Apophis, whose official name is 99,942 Apophis? This is an asteroid that is classified as a near-Earth object, that is, a near-Earth object. This massive space rock is about 370 meters in diameter. In terms of height, it's about as tall as the Eiffel Tower, and its weight is an astonishing 20 million tons. If you compare it, it's like gathering all the skyscrapers in a city together to make one giant skyscraper. And that huge chunk is heading toward Earth at a speed of about 25,000 miles per hour. That's Apophis. In 2004 at Kitt Peak. Since astronomers at the National Observatory in Arizona discovered it, Apophis has become the most closely studied and monitored asteroid in history. But why? Because the astronomers' initial observations indicated that this asteroid had about a 2.7% chance of colliding with Earth in 2029. And that's why the entire scientific community was shaken. However, after that, many more studies were conducted on this asteroid, which ruled out the possibility of it colliding with Earth in 2029. But even after that, Apophis still remains a serious danger for us. The risk of it colliding with Earth has been averted, but even now, its path in space passes very close to our planet. Even a slight change in its orbit could completely alter its path, which could increase the chances of it colliding with Earth again in the future. If you look at it, there are countless asteroids present in space right now, but out of all of them, Apophis scares us the most, and that's because it has the potential to bring destruction to Earth. We can't predict its future trajectories, which is why it's very important to keep a close watch on it. And the biggest thing is that it's not just an asteroid, but actually the largest near-Earth object present around Earth. And its future and our future are connected somewhere. The 2029 close approach, April 13, 2029, mark this date on your calendars. Because on this day, Apophis is going to make a close approach to Earth. This approach will be very close. In the context of space, close means just barely passing by, and I really mean it. On that day, Apophis will pass by Earth at a distance of 31,000 kilometers. This distance is so small that it will pass through the region where many satellites are located. This event will be so amazing that it will be visible from many parts of the world, including several regions of Europe, Africa, and Asia. This asteroid will be visible passing through the night sky and can even be seen with the naked eye. You can imagine how thrilling, yet scary, it would be to see a rocky chunk as big as a skyscraper passing over your head. But the good news for us is that scientists have already ruled out an impact in 2029. However, the bad news is that a close approach in 2029 is certain. And this event will alter Apophis's future orbit in such a way that predicting its orbit will become next to impossible. When this asteroid comes close to Earth, Earth's gravity will pull it, causing a slight change in its trajectory. Scientists believe that this slight change could make it collide with our planet in the future. Maybe in 2036 or during its later close approaches, although the chances of an impact in 2029 are almost zero. Still, this asteroid will remain constantly on the radar of scientific communities because even if the chances are low, the situations it could create cannot be ignored under any circumstances. Apophis is going to be the asteroid that will pass closest to Earth in recorded history. And for scientists, this will be a huge opportunity to study this asteroid from such a close distance. But somewhere, this close approach is also a reminder for us of how fragile our existence is in the cosmos. What if Apophis actually hit Earth? Let's talk about the worst case scenario. If Apophis actually collided with Earth, if this really happened, the impact would release about 1,200 megatons of energy. For comparison, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima only released about 15 kilotons of energy. This means that the impact of Apophis would be equal to the power of 80,000 Hiroshima bombs. If Apophis collides with the Earth's surface, entire cities would be wiped out. Everything within a radius of 50 to 100 kilometers would be destroyed. Infrastructure and even the landscape would fall victim to this collision. The force of the impact would be so great that tremors would be felt all over the Earth and even volcanoes could be seen erupting. Not only that, if Apophis collides with the ocean, a massive tsunami will lie in wait to swallow the entire coastline. The shockwave from this collision would be felt in all the oceans of the Earth. The waves formed at the impact site will be hundreds of meters high, crashing into the coastline with unimaginable force. If we compare the magnitude of this event to historical impacts, the Chicxulub asteroid, which wiped out the dinosaurs about 66 million years ago, was much larger than Apophis. Apophis does not have the power to wipe out all of human civilization, but the destruction at the impact site and the surrounding areas will be so great that we have neither seen it before nor can we even imagine it. The true scale of that devastation shakes us all. The impact it will have on the entire world will be very dangerous. The Earth will be filled with dust and debris which will completely block the sunlight coming to the surface. If sunlight doesn't reach, we could see a short-term cooling effect on our Earth which will be similar to a nuclear winter. And this is not a good sign for humans. Trees, plants, and vegetation will start dying without sunlight, and without crops, humans will have very limited options to survive. Besides food shortages and starvation, the damage to the environment, economy, and human life cannot even be imagined. How are we preparing? Thankfully, this isn't the plot of a Hollywood movie where people wait helplessly for the impact. Our human civilization has been preparing to deal with this kind of asteroid impact for a long time. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Planetary Defense Coordination Office is at the forefront of tracking such hazardous NEOs, near-Earth objects. So that we can develop better strategies to deal with them, National Aeronautics and Space Administration has been continuously tracking Apophis ever since its discovery. And thanks to advanced technology, today we have a clear idea of this asteroid's trajectory. We've known about it for decades, and tracking it is just the beginning. National Aeronautics and Space Administration is working on technology that will deflect this asteroid before it can collide with Earth. The double redirect test and double asteroid redirection test are such projects where a spacecraft is crashed into an asteroid to try to change its orbit. And fortunately, the results will make you happy. In fact, National Aeronautics and Space Administration has succeeded in making a slight change in the orbit of an asteroid named Dimorphos by targeting it. Apart from National Aeronautics and Space Administration, other space agencies like the European Space Agency are also working on similar projects. Overall, we are aware of the dangers and damage that can be caused by asteroids, and our goal is to protect our Earth from any cosmic threat. Of course, to truly be prepared for such threats, governments and ordinary citizens will also have to be involved. How will governments react at that time? What will the evacuation plans be? If no one is able to do anything, then where to go, where to hide, and how to bring life back on track after the impact? All of this should be part of our planning. Could we survive an Apophis impact? If you think about it, the very idea of this asteroid colliding is terrifying. But we also need to understand that today we are more prepared than ever before. Our modern technology has given us the power to face such events, something our ancestors could only dream of. But we also need to look at the other side of the coin. Let's be real, can we really face Apophis? There's no doubt that at the local level, the impact will be devastating. The entire surrounding area will be immediately destroyed, but even then, the loss of life and property will depend on where the asteroid impacts. If it hits a desert or an empty place where not many people live, then of course, in that case, there won't be much damage. But if it hits right in the middle of a city, then early warning systems and evacuation plans will become extremely crucial. But if we know the impact site in advance, then we can manage things properly. But one thing is certain, rebuilding cities after the impact will be very difficult for us. It will take many years, if not decades, and many cities will completely disappear from the world map. The infrastructure will be destroyed and the economic loss may never be recovered. But humanity has faced many catastrophic events before: earthquakes, tsunamis, nuclear incidents, and many natural disasters. We have always learned to make new beginnings, and one day we will surely find a way to recover from this asteroid impact as well. Why should we be concerned even if the risk is very low? So should we really be worried about Apophis? And on top of that, there's no chance of it hitting us, so the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. Space is unpredictable. Astronomers have calculated that Apophis will not collide with Earth in 2029. But the close approaches that are going to happen in the future, like in 2036 and after that, its orbit or trajectory cannot be predicted. Even a slight change in its trajectory can change the entire future of the Earth. Apart from this, Apophis is not the only one we should be worried about. There could be many such asteroids in space right now that are a direct threat to our Earth, but we haven't been able to find them yet. At the very least, Apophis can help us prepare to deal with such threats. In 2013, a meteor exploded in Chelyabinsk, Russia, which shocked everyone. After all, a meteor enters our atmosphere and no one even gets a hint about it. That meteor was much smaller than Apophis, but still, because of it, buildings in several cities were damaged and around 1,500 people were injured. Do you know what the burst part was? We couldn't even detect that danger until it was too late. That's why it's important that we are always prepared to deal with any danger. Apophis is not the kind of asteroid that would wipe out the entire Earth or humanity, but it is definitely a serious reminder for us that we are not at all immune to dangers coming from space. There's no way to know when or from where a disaster might strike. The good thing is that we are prepared, whether it's Apophis or any other disaster. We humans have always understood this universe in this way. Friends, what is your opinion on this? Do let us know in the comment section. Friends, we will meet soon with another new video like this. Until then, stay curious, be happy, and goodbye.